Hi guys, it's Emily from Nobel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my fantasy bookshelf tour. I have recently changed my shelves around and put what was previously my middle grade and YA shelves into just fantasy. Now this includes middle grade fantasy, YA fantasy, Greek mythology, which kind of counts, and yeah, basically those are the elements. I will show you the outside of the shelves and go through each book and show you the outside, inside, basically show you each book. And at the end of the video, I will show you the books that are not on the shelf, but I'm currently reading or are on the other TBRs, just so you can see all of the fantasy books that I own. So this will be a series of clips. I hope you enjoy it, and this is in honour of all the fantasy lovers that are out there. Here we go. So the first fantasy book is, and there are a couple of books that are kind of in the temporary fantasy genre. So the first one is Like a Charm by Elle Macnicol. It's the first in a series. It is set in Scotland, I believe. I don't know too much about it, but I'm buddy reading it with a lovely Cat from Brews and Reviews. I'm not going to go into too much details about the books because otherwise it will mean going through this. Then I've got Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. This is a historical fiction fantasy. I think everyone knows a little bit about it. There you go. If you want to look at that, you can look at the reading. Then the next one's a middle grade one that's it isn't fantasy, but there's nowhere else to put it, so I'm afraid that's going in. And that is When the War Came Home by Lizzie Parsons. It's my only middle grade book. There's a couple of middle grade books that are not exactly fantasy. The Girl with the Space in Her Heart, I think this is another one that probably shouldn't be on there, but I couldn't really move it. But it has got about space in it. Maybe. So this is one Charlie gave me. So this one might get read sooner rather than later because it's not technically counted. Now, next ones are the Aveline Jones series. So although I'm going to start off the first, second and third in the series. So we've got The Haunting of Aveline Jones, which is the first in the series, I think. The Bewitching of Aveline Jones, which is the second in the series. The Vanishing of Aveline Jones, which is the third. I believe there is a fourth one coming out, but I need to get it. Then we've got The Hatmakers by Tamsin Merchant. I read that recently and I absolutely loved it. And the other two were on my wish list, but they've disappeared. So I don't know if someone's got them for me or what's going to happen with that, but they've disappeared. And I've got these three, The Bear and the Nightingale series. So I shouldn't really read too much. I've got the third one, which is The Winter of the Witch. The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Wright, the second one in the series. The Bear and the Nightingale, which is the first. I read the first a long time ago, but I will be reading this series next year because it's going to be my series goal. Some of these books are going to be read in the series. So next year I'm also going to read these two that lovely Jack from Spade Bookjoy got me for my birthday. The Wicked Will Rise by Danielle Page and Dorothy Must Die. And these are the first two in another series, but they are Wizard of Oz retelling, so I'm going to start them next year. So that's those. And then I've got, I'm going to have to the second in the Gina Dawson series, which is The Shadow Cabinet. I got that sent to me by Angela from Reading Off My Shelf. That's the second in the series, but it's about Neve, so that one I'm really excited about. I'm moving myself across. Then I've got Her Majesty's Royal Coven. This is a beautiful, beautiful edition. I believe the prequel to this, Her Queen Bee, is out soon, but I'll wait for that to go in paperback before I get it. We've got Bride by Ali Hazelwood, which has had mixed reviews, but I do love Ali Hazelwood's work. This is about werewolves and wares and things like that. Sorry, I'm reading the back of it. So Miriam Lark is the only daughter of the vampire. So it's vampires and the were, I believe. So I don't know too much, but I will be saving that. Then I've got Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas, which everyone knows about. And it is absolutely supposed to be legendary. I'm saving that for November, I believe. But everyone should know about it. Yendrik has summoned a ghost and cannot get rid of him. To gain his family's acceptance, Yadriel has to prove himself as a real Brinjo by summoning his cousin's ghost. So that one does look good. I am going to be reading that in November. I just realised I've gone now. Then this one my sister Charlie gave me, and that's been spoken about by Kirsten from Reading Nymph, and that is Emily Wildness Encyclopedia of Fairies. I don't know whether I should try this before I get the second one, or whether I'm going to have to get the second one because it's literally amazing. But the lead character is called Emily. It's about fairies, which I do enjoy. It's a whimsical, heartbreaking tale that you must read, and I believe it's the start of a series. So, can anyone tell me, do I need to get the second one? Because will it be one that I'll be desperate for? Then I've got... These aren't... I put this in the wrong place, actually, because it should be next to the second in the series. But I've got The Dreamcatcher by Abby Elphinstone, which is the first in another series. And that's obviously about dreams and stuff. Then I got The Stickleback Catchers by Lizette Orton. That is one that I wanted, and it was a gift. I loved the first book. I loved The Secrets of Haven Point, which I'm sure is in here somewhere, but I can't for the life of me find it. So Down by the River, it's all I need to know. It's middle grade. After loving The Secrets of Haven Point, I can't wait for that. These bookshelves are going to drive me crazy. I might not pick all of them up actually to show you the covers. So we've got Saving Neverland, which is an independent one, which I bought on a London shopping trip. Peter Pan retelling, Abby Elphinstone, and it's my gorgeous signed copy. Actually, I'll show you the... And I've got the library bookmark, see? So that is stunning. So that one will be read shortly. Then I've got The Shadow Keeper, which is the second in the series by Abby Elphinstone. I need to read the series. I was going to start it at the end of the month, but I need to actually start it when I've got time. And then if I like the first, I'll probably get the second. But I think, actually, in all honesty, it might be good to read that as a series goal for next year. Then we've got Room and Leisure Ever After, which is the second in that series. I think this is actually a signed copy. The fairy tale was only the beginning. Let me have a look. Yes, it's another signed copy I got. So that's beautiful. I love Room and Leisure, so I obviously wanted that. Sorry about that, Thomas is being noisy. There's Room and Leisure, which I absolutely loved. Another fairy tale retelling. And we've got Aya and the Star Chaser, another one I absolutely I cannot wait to read that. Olivia's been talking about these, so I will link some of my fellow booktubers. A Place Called Perfect, because I don't want to move these and move the shelves. A Place Called Perfect, which I just read and really enjoyed. I got the second in the series of The Trouble in Perfect. I need the third in the series, but I might get that shortly. And right, here we go. So what I'm going to do is, I actually might be able to do this in one clip. Let me take that down. Perhaps this is going to be fun. I'm not going to move these, but because that's Keedy by Elle McNichol, which isn't fantasy, but I had to put it there. Cosmo the Unfortunate. I absolutely loved that by Lauren Nowak. I think actually I will show you this one because this is my other signed copy. So this is another signed copy. Yep, that's my other signed copy. So that one was absolutely stunning. Then I've got a series. Then I've got some of the Sophie Anderson books. I believe she's got another one out, but it's in hardback, and I want to wait till it's in paperback. So we've got The Thief That Sung Stories by Sophie Anderson, The Castle of Tangled Magic, The Girl Who Speaks Bear, and then I've got a few Roald Dahl ones, but we're going to ignore those. Actually, I need to get rid of them properly. I know they shouldn't be with fantasy, but Matilda has got a bit of fantasy in it. Going Solo hasn't. And The Giraffe, the Pele and Me, I think that one I might actually read, that bottom one actually shortly, actually, because that'll get that off my shelves. Actually, you guys are inspiring me. This one's going to get off my shelves. So this one is one of the only Roald Dahl ones I've not got, but he is a bit of not a very nice author apparently, actually. There's stuff that I've been told, so I'm going to read that shortly and get that off my shelves. So, what one can I put back? There you go, I can put that one back, the Keedy one back now. And then you're just going to have to put up with me. Right, I will actually put these back afterwards, actually, because I want this to be in one shelf, one story. So we've got Rebel Rose. Oh, what's that one? Oh, we're going to ignore that one. Another author that's not very nice. We've got the Queen of Courage, Rebel Rose, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which I absolutely loved. We've got As Old as Time, which I think is that's another Beauty and the Beast retelling. And I only keep the really good ones. What If Belle's Mother Cursed the Beast? that is the one I absolutely loved. I love those two. I don't know if you guys know, but Beauty and the Beast is my favourite, absolutely favourite book. My favourite of the fairy tales, so I'll put that away in a bit. Reflection, I've only just read, and that's a Mulan retelling. I've kept that because even though I've not watched Mulan, I loved the book. So I think what I'm planning to do is actually read Mulan and go from there. To watch Mulan. And then I'm going to reread that. And then we've got the third and final Beauty and the Beast retelling, which is A Beast Within, which is another retelling. Look at the idea of Beauty and the Beast is my favourite author. It's my favourite fairy tale. So the next pile are mixed, basically. There we go. So again, if I do this, I'm going to be getting confused. Some of these are read and some of these are unread. So I've got The Lost Whale by Hannah Gold, which I loved. The Polar Bear Explorer Club that Charlie got me for Christmas. I've not read that, and that's going to be read in December. The Girl of Ink and Stars by Kieran Mildred Hargreaves. You will see a few of her books, at least. Secret of Sunshine Point Project. That isn't a fantasy, but it's middle grade, and like I said, I have had to mix some in. Summer's Dream by Kathy Cassidy. Mia gave me that. It's one of her old books. I've not read it. I don't know whether I should read it or not, but I'm going to keep it because it's Mia. Layla and the Blue Fox I've not read, but like Chris bought me that for my birthday. I've got 2 copies of Julia and the Shark because one Alice gave me and one Jack gave me. So I had to keep them both, and they're both beautiful. Then The Secrets of Birds and Bones by Kieran Mildred Hargreaves. I got sent that by a tandem and absolutely loved it. And now I'm going to show you, like I said, I'm tipping all of my books over. And now these are all books that have been read. So we've got The City of Stolen Magic by Nazim Ahmed Pathak. I love that book. I need to look to see if she's got any other books. And I actually have the most gorgeous copy, sprayed edges. And I had a matching bookmark to go with that. Sorry, this is a bit wobbly. You can tell them. Then we've got The Secrets of Haven Point, which is one of my favourite books of the year. You would have seen that. Amari and the Great Game, loved that. Amari and the Night Brothers, loved that. This one, I've got sprayed edges. So basically, I have decided that the third in the series is coming out in hardback, but I need to read it. So I'm going to read it from the library if they have it, and then basically buy my own paperback copy and reread the series. So we've got The Tangle of Spells, The Pinch of Magic. What's the other one? Storm of Sisters. And then the last one is The Sprinkle of Sorcery by Michelle Harrison. I had that series, read that series, and loved that. So in a minute, you'll see the clip of the next shelf, but I'm going to put the books away first. Now down to my second shelf. Now I've got to do this carefully, and this may be done in separate bits, because I'll see if I can get it. So the first one is The Book of Dust by Philip Pullman, and this is a hard copy I got for like 20p. And I read, and you'll see one of the series I've got in here by Philip Pullman, and this is Volume 1, La Belle Sauvage. If I like this, I do need to read the other books in the series, but it's hardback and it is absolutely massive, and I've been told that this series isn't as good as the other one. Let's see how many pages it is. Eesh. It's like 500 pages. Then I've got some of the Jennifer Saint books, which you'll see another book in this series that I'm going to be reading next month shortly. But I've got Atlanta by Jennifer Saint that was gifted to me by the lovely Charlie from Charles Heathcote. So in hardback. But look at, I'm going to actually hold it. Look how stunning that copy is. I don't know too much about the Atlanta book, but I do know that it is absolutely stunning. And I believe this is the story of the only female Argonaut. And I loved Ariadne. Ariadne? That's Ariadne. Ariadne is the spider. But I did love that, and it's such a beautiful copy, so I'm truly grateful for Charlie for that. Then I've got Ariadne, which is a copy I got from the charity shop. The first one, it's a Greek retelling, and it's about the daughter of Crete and the daughters of King Minos. The Princess of Crete and the daughters of King Minos. Ariadne and Phaedra grow up with the terrible fellows of the Minotaur from the Labyrinth. Absolutely bloody loved this. I have got Electra upstairs, which I'll be showing you because that's going on another TBR. Then I've got Clytemnestra, which, as everyone's been raved about, Katie raved about it, and I think Charlotte from Courtney Reeds raved about it, and I think this is going to be read in the autumn months. I don't know whether it's going to be read in either September, October or November, but to me, probably that gold does spring out autumn. And there you go, you can read the back of that. And it looks beautiful. So this is going to be read in the autumn months. If I like this, then I will get the author's next book, but I'll wait until it's in paperback. Then we've got about 4 TJ Klune books. So you've got Under the Whispering Door, which is on this year's favourites of the year. Absolutely loved it. Does talk about death and his death was their beginning, and it broke me into a million pieces, but I thoroughly loved it. Last year's favourite book, The House in the Cerulean Sea. It's never too late to follow your dreams, and there are quotes in this, which is why it's actually got little post-it notes, but I absolutely thoroughly loved it. He expected nothing, but they gave him everything. Absolutely bloody loved that book. Then I got gifted on my wish list Wolfsong by TJ Klune, and that is another retelling, I believe. It's about wolves. No, it's not a retelling, it's about wolves and things like that. LGBTQ romance, sci-fi, wolves, that kind of thing. It just looks absolutely amazing. Like I said, I know that Olivia loved this, so that's the first in the series, and once I've read that, I'm probably going to order or try and hunt for the rest of the series. In the Lives of Puppet by TJ Klune. This is apparently a sci-fi fantasy, but Berna absolutely just read this and absolutely loved it. It's a Pinocchio retelling, and that's all I need to know. TJ Klune retelling. I'm going to get all of TJ Klune's books. Then we've got two of the Elodie Harper books. I've got Wolf Den upstairs, but it didn't fit quite on these shelves, so I might have to rearrange that. That's the third in the series, Temple of Fortuna. I'm not going to tell you too much about this because it is the third, but it's the conclusion of the trilogy, Wolf Den trilogy. And it's Amari's journey has taken her far. Oh my God, I'm well excited about that. So I'm just waiting to get that in paperback. Then I just read the second in the series, The House in the Golden Door, and I absolutely loved it. It's a book that could be on my favourites. I think I don't count series books as favourites, but now I've decided I'm going to do things differently on this shelf because I'm going to show you it in one clip. So I have got the whole of the Philip Pullman series, Northern Lights, The Subtle Knife and The Amber Spyglass. I read this quite a few years ago with Charlie and Berna, and I absolutely loved that series. And it was gifted to me by my uncle Michael, and I absolutely loved it. And I want to reread it. We were going to reread it with Gemma, but I think we had reasons to stop this year, so I'll reread that at some point. Then I've got Bloodmarked and Legendborn. Legendborn was the first in the Tracy Deonn series. Bloodmarked was the second. I'm waiting on the third, but I loved Legendborn. Didn't like Bloodmarked as much, but it was good. Now I've got 3 of my Kaelin Byron books, and I think I've got another one somewhere, but I can't remember where I put that. I've got Cinderella is Dead by Kaelin Byron. He's Put the Poison Apart. His Wicked Fate. Oh yeah, the fourth one I've got over there. So Cinderella is Dead is a Cinderella retelling, but with LGBTQI romance. Then this is the first in a duology, and that's The Poison Heart. I absolutely flipping loved this. She must break an ancient curse. She must let her power bloom. And about Briselis. So that was the first, and then I loved it so much that I couldn't wait to read the sequel, and it's His Wicked Fate. That is the sequel, so I'm not going to show you any more, but look how stunning that is. Then I've got an Angie Thomas book, Concrete Rose, that was gifted to me, and that's the prequel to The Hate You Give. Absolutely love that. Then I've got 2 of the Lunar Chronicles, because I've read the whole series that my sister Charlie lent me them. I've read the whole series, but I didn't own them, so I am still searching for them, but I'll only search for them in paperback. So I've got Cinder and Scarlet, and I want the rest of them in the series. Then this is The Cat Who Saved Book, so that's a translated fantasy book. Apparently it does count as fantasy. Grandpa used to say all the time, books have tremendous power, but what is that power really? Cat book without books, bloody can't wait to read that. So now I've got some of the Percy Jackson books. Basically, I'm reading them at the moment, so I've got one that's on next week's TBR. I need to find another series, but I didn't actually keep. I actually had the Percy Jackson series, and I didn't keep them. So I've now got the first one, one of the sequels to The Lightning Thief, and that is The Sun and the Star by Rick Riordan and Mark Asherio, and that's his Nico story. Look how stunning that is. One Prophecy, 2 Demigods, A Heroic Twist. I will read this probably by the end of the year because I've got to read the rest of the Lost Heroes of Olympus series. So I cannot wait to read that. Then I've got The Lost Hero, which is the first in the series, Son of Neptune, Mark of Athena. I'm reading the fourth one, which is the Heroes of Hades or something. Then I've got 2 of the Trial of Apollo books. I need to get the rest of those. So those, actually, I need to get off my bum and start ordering these. I'll wait until I've gone on holiday and then I'll start ordering the rest of this series. I don't know much about the Trials of Apollo series, but I've got, I think the first one, I've got the Hidden Oracle and the Dark Prophecy. So I will at some point get to those, but I don't know when yet, because I've got obviously got a lot of other books I've got to get through the Heroes of Olympus series. So then I'm going to get them all second hand, probably from my ABE books or hunted in the charity shop. Then I've got another whole series here. So I've got, they're not in order, which is typical, Noughts and Crosses, Crossfire, Double Cross, Checkmate, Endgame, and Knife Edge. They don't all match, but they were all absolutely lovely, and I absolutely enjoyed them. I thought it was a brilliant series. So they're all there. I will put them in order at some point. I should have showed you them when they were in order, shouldn't I? Then we've got 2 of another series. I read the first in this series, and I've not read the second or third. That's the second and that's the third. The second in the series of Glass of Sword, and again, I think I'll save this for next year. It's the Victoria Aveyard. The first was the Red Queen. I absolutely really enjoyed that. So I'm looking for the rest of them in the charity shops. Red Blood is on the Carpet of Red. So Common Folk, but Silver Ability. So I did really enjoy that. Actually, I'm going to do these this way. Then I've got the King's Cage, which is the third in the series. I don't want to look too much about it. And there is another one. No worries, this is if you want to read about it. So that. And I've got another Kieran Millwood Hargreaves book, The Shadow of the Wolf Queen. And that's the start of another series, I believe. And I got that from Waterstones. Unlock the magic that will change the world and save it. Or destroy it. So it looks pretty. I love Kieran Millwood Hargreaves. Collecting a lot of her books. Then the latest Kaylin Byron book, Sleep Like Death, which is I think it's a Sleeping Beauty retelling. Is it? No, Snow White retelling, I think, actually. So Eve is ready to be the Queen's sword, but to be her vengeance. Eve is ready to be the Queen's sword, be the King's sword, be her vengeance. Princess Eve was raised with one purpose: to destroy the night, an evil sorcerer who has terrorised the Queen's Bridge with his wicked magic. That's all. Looks brilliant. I love Kieran Millwood Hargreaves. Right, then, on the London trip, I bought Cursed by Marissa Meyer. Stunning trip, stunning, and even my own copy of Gilded. Sod it. That's going to get ordered on Tuesday once I have my dentist appointment. I'm going to get order it. It won't be a pretty copy matching, but I need that. So I'll order that. Then this is the first 3 in the Becky Chambers series. I've just read the 4th book and I absolutely loved that. So that's those 3. Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, Coast and Common Orbit, Record of a Spaceborne Few, and then the bottom one over there. Let's see if I can actually show you that. My finger's in the way. The Galaxy and the Ground Within. So I can't remember where this is coming on, what the order of my books to be read, but thoroughly loved that. I think for me, the 1st and the 4th are my favourites. Then it goes to the Record of a Spaceborne Few, and then it goes to Close and Common Orbit, and then the Record of a Spaceborne Few, my least favourite. Then these are all my Bridget Kemner books, or my Bridget Kemner fantasy. So we've got Forging Silver in Stars, I thoroughly loved that. Destroy the Day, loved that. Defy the Night, enjoyed that. Defend the Dawn, Defy the Night. Actually, I can't remember which one's my favourite. I think actually Defend the Dawn was actually the 3rd in that series. Then we've got Vows So Bold and Deadly, Hearts So Fierce and Broken, and A Curse So Dark and Lonely. These 3 are all of the series, I believe, and that's the first one in another series, which I think the sequel's coming to that shortly. So these are all the actual shelf books, and I'm now going to go and show you pictures of and show you the other books, okay? I'll give you a little clip of the other books that are actually on my TBRs, either read or unread. Right, bye-bye. So this is the last clip. So we've got The Heroes of Olympus, which I'm currently reading, The House of Hades, The Wolf Den, which is the first in the series. I'm actually going to take that downstairs and put that on the bookshelf. I love that. So I'm actually going to go all the way over here to this month's TBR that you would have already seen. The Lost Bookshelf by E.B. Ward. I didn't realise, but this is actually fantasy. How far will you go to find your story? On the Quiet Streets of Dublin. It's about books, fantasy. That's all I needed to know. I'll be very shortly. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. Everyone knows about this book. It was absolutely amazing. And the lovely Ange from Ange's Bookshelf got me this for I think it was either my birthday or Christmas. I can't remember. No, my Christmas present. So I can't wait to read that. Coffee Cups. Apparently the first prequel to this isn't as good as this one. Then a sneaky peek to August TBR. We have Electra by Jennifer Soap, which is the second book. I believe it is about Electra. And obviously House of Athena, I think it is. Is it saying House of Athena? A bloodline, generational thing. Clytemnestra, Cassandra, and Electra. Ooh! So maybe Clytemnestra book is probably going to have to be waiting until October or November because this has got Clytemnestra in it. And then the last book that is on my shelves is The Heroes of Olympus, The Blood of Olympus, which is the third, which is the fifth and final book. It's a hardback. It's Mahusive. I don't want to know, actually. I'm not going to read it now, but that is for August. So, if you got to the end of this video, then I would like you to do, yes, I know I'm doing it again, a sword emoji if you got to the end of this video, because I think that suits fantasies. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and not subscribed, ring on my ding-a-ling, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.